I mean, this is never a football game. 47-9, it just absolutely destroyed the Cowboys in this one. When you look at the Lions, top 5 graded players, I mean, it's a little bit of a somber recap here because number 1 is a guy who is a front runner for Defensive Player of the Year in Aiden Hutchinson. And if you were watching the game or saw the injury somewhere on social media afterwards, you know that his season is most likely done. 95.1 overall grade in this game. Once again, a dominant performance before he got hurt. Safety Brian Branch right behind him, a 93.3. Unbelievable game from him as well. Wide receiver Khalif Raymond with a 90.9. Running back David Montgomery, a 90.3. And then cornerback Carlton Davis with an 88.4. Jared Goff in this one, 72.3. And he didn't have to do much, honestly. On the other side of things for the Dallas Cowboys, linebacker Damone Clark with an 83.2. Edge rusher Chauncey Golston with a 73.4. Wide receiver CeeDee Lamb with a 72.1. Offensive tackle Tyler Smith with a 71.2. Offensive guard TJ Bass with a 69.6. And then Dak Prescott with a 56.4. Dalton, I do want to hear from you, but I'm going to be honest. I'm going to get mine out of the way really quickly. The stat that told the story, one of these football teams is good. The other is bad. That's basically it. The Lions are top 3 in EPA per play on offense, and they're top 10 in EPA per allowed on defense. The Cowboys are 23rd in EPA per play on offense, and they're 27th in EPA per play allowed on defense. One of these teams is good. The other one is bad. That's it. The Cowboys are bad at run defense. The Lions are really good at running the football. The Cowboys give up a lot of explosives in coverage. The Lions are really good at exploiting explosives in coverage. The Lions' offensive line is very good when it comes to mitigating a lot of pass rush things. The Cowboys don't have a lot going on there. The Cowboys' offense, they cannot run the football. The Lions are pretty good at defending the run. The Cowboys, they rely on shot plays. They got a couple of them, but the Lions knew that and they stepped up to the challenge. Whatever matchup you want to look at in this game, the Lions are a good football team. The Cowboys are a bad football team. That's what happened in this game, 47-9.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Yep, and honestly, other than their Browns win week 1 when they were fully healthy and playing the Browns, their last 2 wins against the Giants and Steelers were really just Dak Prescott finding a way to win. That's really the only way the Cowboys can beat you right now. And I want to credit, actually, the Lions coverage unit. They had an 88.5 coverage grade as a team in this game. That is their highest in 8 years. The Lions, this was the big weakness heading into the season, where I think last year they had the 3rd worst coverage grade in football. I believe they were 30th. It was the one thing. If they had even a decent secondary last year, they would have won the Super Bowl. And this is now moving forward with the Hutchinson injury. This is going to come more into the spotlight, right? And I'm going to wrap this in with my most impressive. Brian Branch is incredible.
Ooh, buddy.
2 interceptions, another guy with a right hook on a football for a forced fumble, a 93.2 overall grade there. And actually, the safety pair of him and Kirby Joseph right now, you know they're 2 of the 6 highest graded safeties in football right now.
I did not know
They're
that.
back-to-back number 5 and 6 in the safety rankings right now. Still figuring it out at corner, right? You got Carlton Davis over there. You got young guys, Terrion Arnold, Ennis Rakestraw figuring it out at corner. But the Lions are set at safety. And Brian Branch, his ability to move back and forth and deep half, single high in the slot, play man-to-man. You know, he played a ton in the slot at Alabama. He's becoming one of the elite players in this league. He was terrific last year for them. The Lions up down the middle of their defense right now, they're set. We'll see if they need to go get another edge rusher or figure out something there. Obviously want to see Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw maybe emerge as a little, they're getting heavily targeted, especially Arnold. So he's kind of facing the rookie corner challenges, but Brian Branch is a monster. That's the best way I can put it. They're getting everything out of him that they envisioned when they drafted him. And again, Kirby Joseph along with him. If the Lions, not like this, to this extent where you're just shutting people out and winning 47-9, but if the Lions secondary makes real progress, they're not dead. I know kind of the thought right now is, well, with Aiden Hutchinson out, maybe they can't win a Super Bowl. But maybe you make a move for a pass rusher. Pass rushers are probably the easiest guys to trade for, right? When you talk about it's kind of been a recent history, right? The Rams,
sure, yeah.
The Rams did it with Von Miller.
Right.
Every team every year trades for Jadeveon.
Montez
Sweat, Jadeveon Clowney. They're the easiest guys to transition to a new team because it's like, yeah, just get in a wide 9 and get after it, right? I mean, I would think they're going to be in the market for somebody. Their interior rush was spectacular in this game with Aleem McNeil, with DJ Reader, with guys like that. Owuzurike is playing really good. But the biggest thing is coverage. If their coverage can be significantly better than it was last year, and in this game they were just terrific, that's a big X factor for the Lions. Their secondary was a big thing I was watching coming into the year. So far, still working on it at corner, but it's a lot better than it was last season.
Yeah, I think that's a. I mean, we're gonna have to do a trade deadline special type of a show because I think that this brings up a lot of interesting things. Like Jadeveon Clowney's name comes up. I understand that he just signed with Carolina, but like, okay, with where Carolina is right now.
Oh, the name that's
do you move him?
The name that was getting floated around a little bit. I don't know if they would actually do it as Max Crosby.
I think every team in the NFL is very interested in Max
Crosby.
Well,
right, but just as a matter of they're already looking maybe to if they're looking to offload Adams,
right?
And you're really, I mean, the Raiders, they're in an in-between spot right now, and who knows where Crosby's at with where the franchise is at right now. But Crosby, that's always a surprise. Okay, but even if it's a guy like Clowney or somebody always comes available, there's another name I can't think of right now that should be in my head. I can't think of it, but no, I mean, you lose a guy like Hutchinson, that hurts.
No, it's no doubt. I mean, my most disappointing is the Aiden Hutchinson injury, just because it sucks. Again, this is the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year who just got hurt. So anytime that's the case, it really sucks. Most impressive, Tim Patrick. We talked about kind of the Broncos offense not playing really well, and we mostly talked about the run game. But I also feel like wide receivers outside of Cortland Sutton over the last couple of weeks we've been looking for something. I thought that Tim Patrick was a breakout candidate for them before they just released him. Just like, you're not really in the place to release him. And then he ends up going to the Detroit Lions, plays well, 3 targets, 3 catches, 68 yards, had a contested catch, 2 explosive plays. So he was a most impressive for me in this game. Most disappointing for you?
The Cowboys have issues on the offensive line as well. I know their defense, obviously they gave up 47 points. Their defense is getting a lot of the rap, but there's some real issues here. You've got, Tyler Guyton got benched for this game. They moved Tyler Smith out to left tackle, so already benching a first-round pick. 30.3 pass pro grade as a unit in this game. The Lions had a 65% pass rush win rate as a team, and it's tough. You've got a rookie starting at center. You had a rookie starting at left tackle who's now been benched. You were already struggling at right tackle. Zach Martin had the infamous 0 pass blocking grade in this game. He struggled badly with Liam McNeil. The Cowboys they have just as big a problem on the offensive side of the trenches as they do on defense.
I'm looking at the chat right now. They're talking about some pass rush options. I also they're skeptical that Max Crosby gets traded. I'm also skeptical. I just don't think
it would take a
and
lot.
I just don't think they're going to move on from Trey Hendrickson, name that they threw out there. Although with the Bengals winning, I don't think they're going to move on from him. But he wants a new contract, so that part of it is at least interesting. But I don't think the Bengals are really in a spot where they can move on from Trey Hendrickson if they want to compete at all. Azeez Ojulari is one that got brought up. Azeez had a really good game last night. We'll get into that in a second. He's going to be one of my most impressive players. But he's at least somebody that you could supplement a little bit, right? Get him in there, raise the floor of how that defensive line is playing. So, yeah, I think that's an interesting proposition there.